Hello, everybody. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. I am so excited to see everybody today. Let me make sure I have everything all set up. I do not. So, super fun. Today, I was testing my mic, and I don't know if you can hear my cat, but my cat's wanting attention right now. But I was setting up the music and making sure that when I talked, it didn't suppress the noise too much. And wouldn't you know it, it just randomly decided that it wasn't going to play music anymore. So I have a timer set to go off at 9 minutes from now. Hopefully, when we get those 9 minutes up, I'll be able to fix Spotify and we'll be able to listen to some good old lo-fi beats. But for now, since it wants to throw a hissy fit, let's just get drawing, why don't we? I gotta turn my tablet over real quick. Um, isn't that just the way though? Everything else went so incredibly smoothly, and I was like, oh, I should just start learning how to do all of the compressors and all of the fun parts. Which one should I start with? I think this one looks best and most on model. So we're gonna start with our boy Wukong. But isn't that just the way? Isn't that just how it always goes? You think that everything's gonna be perfect, but no, something has to come up. Um, I'm still working on the sketches for these ones. I last time had 4 drawings, or maybe 5. No, I think I had 4. Um, and for whatever reason, be what it may, they decided, I say they as if there's a person involved in this. For whatever reason, there we go, fix my monkey. I managed to get 4 fully inked drawings done in 2 hours, when usually it would take me 2 hours to get a fully inked drawing done. So, I mean, I'm not complaining. I would never complain. But what an event. I want that to connect down to the hip there. What an event. And what fun. And what the hell? But hopefully everything else goes smoothly today. Looks like we don't have anyone waiting for us, which is always nice because that means I get to talk to myself for a little bit. And none of you will hear this. So we will just yap and draw and draw and yap. I'm going to draw his clothes on in blue. And if you were on my stream last week, you probably had a very hard time seeing my sketch layer, which is not something I noticed um, until very late in the day, because I said, I think I only have time for one more drawing, which ended up being wrong. I said, I think I only have time for one more drawing. If somebody would like to, let's see, it comes from here and goes down to here, and then it comes from here and goes down to here. If somebody would like to, what am I saying? Suggest which one I draw. We had a standing Tripitaka and a sitting Tripitaka, and nobody could tell. Nobody could tell what the poses were, and so no one had any opinions on it. And I thought that was just hilarious. So I am drawing now in much darker lines, and I'm realizing I made his torso tiny, not skinny. He's got a good girth, but not a good length of torso. So let us come back here and we'll have it connect. This torso is about like a little less than 2 heads. So we're not going to actually make it all that much longer. But maybe to where his knee comes up onto his body. Woo! It's the Wrong pen and it's too big. I'm so happy to have everyone today, though I know we don't have anyone just yet. I keep opening the wrong things. But I'm excited because we're drawing Wukong, and Wukong is like not my favorite character design. My favorite character design is Sandy, but I do think that he is the most fun character design that we've done. He's just so character. That doesn't make any sense, but he really is. He's so incredibly designed. He has so much design. None of that makes any sense, but whatever. We're just gonna have it come kind of up like this, and then spike down, and then maybe spike a little bit forward. And then of course he has these big silly shorts that we're gonna have him tuck in, which means of course that I already ruined the tiger skin. There we go, fixed it. I'm so good. Doo, doo, doo. And then we'll have it come around. His shorts kind of go like that. I'm a big fan of drawing very loose, heavy pants. If you look through my art on Tumblr, you'll see just a whole bunch of men wearing tiny shirts and big flowy pants. They're everywhere. And I love them dearly. I'm realizing, because I did this very quickly, and I basically sketch traced, which I know is bad karma, but it's okay. I'm realizing that I gave him feet instead of hands. He doesn't have feet. He has hands on his feet. So we'll need to fix that while we're drawing, but that's okay. That is a-okay. I also gave him pretty skinny arms. Well, I gave him this arm as skinny. I found out that it was my friend's birthday the other day, and I didn't know that her birthday was coming up, so I didn't get her anything, and I felt really bad. So if she hops on today, I don't know if she will, because I think it's like midnight where she is right now. But big if she hops on, then I will be overjoyed to draw her something, just anything. Anything her heart desires. This arm I think I made big enough that we can say that that's his sleeve already. Let's see. We also should put his crown on. I do like drawing Wukong's crown. We didn't make it overly complicated. I've seen some where it's an incredibly elaborate, it's not even a crown. It's a, oh my goodness, what's it called? Whatever it is. A headband. A crown. It's a crown. His headache hat. That's gonna drive me nuts. What is this thing I'm drawing? Oh well. We'll do purple for his fur. Actually, that might not be noticeable. We're gonna do green for his fur. This is gonna be an incredibly ugly sketch, but it's okay. Who goes to the sketch for the color theory, right? He's got these big old sideburns. I'm trying to kind of make them look right. Just because I do need to get in the habit of drawing on model, but I really don't think his hair is going to be something that always looks the same. I mean, he's a very active monkey. So I can only imagine that we will be having him get up to crazy shenanigans, in which it would make no sense for his hair to be the same. There we go. That's only slightly off model. Yay! Um, we're gonna draw his hands properly. So both of his hands, I want them to be very casually resting on his staff. That's what he's holding. I assume that's obvious, but maybe it's a little hard to tell since I did draw it in pencil. So let's see. The way that I drew his arm, his hand should be coming like this. There we go. And because it's like that, we should be seeing his pinky. Will be right here. And then we can have his thumb wrap up from like that. And we'll fix that. Don't worry. It looks bad. We'll fix it. But we'll fix it when we're inking it. That's way too much. Hee hee. There we go. It looks bad. Give it a minute. It'll look better. And then this one I kind of already did sketch. I want his staff to be here and here about. So we'll just detail in that this is a pinky, this is a ring finger, that is a middle finger, and that is a pointer. Fun fact, his pointer should connect to the rest of his hand. And this does look like an incredibly uncomfortable pose for Wukong, but I don't think he's ever been too worried about having an incredibly uncomfortable pose. You know? The only worry is I made his legs a little bit long. He's got some long legs. That's okay though. I think that's just barely enough detail. I might also go in and do his face. I haven't actually drawn him with a lot of facial expressions, but I do have this rig of his face looking just everywhere that you can't really see. Hold on, let me make it bigger. His face just looking in every possible direction. This is for our rigging. We're doing a thing called rig or cell animation. Technically, it's not cell animation, but it's very similar. Why can't I move you? No, no, go away. Okay. Technically, it's very similar to cell animation, and so what we'll do is we'll draw them in every conceivable pose possible, with their arms straight, with their arms bent, with their arms reaching towards the camera, with their arms reaching away from the camera. Same thing with the legs, same thing with the face, same thing with the torso. Everything we could possibly think we'll need, we'll draw separately, and then we'll just layer all of those on top of each other as we draw. And I think just having him smile like I have him in every single one of these poses is going to be boring. So let's make him angry. We're going to do just a general angry face. We'll have him do a pout. And his nose. He's got a very simple nose. I'm very happy that he has a very simple nose. Even if I made it a little bit tiny in that one. He's got very simple eyes too. This is what I mean when I said I think he's like the most designed character. Is Tripitaka has a very delicate face, which means that he's going to be very difficult to draw when we do draw him. And especially he'll have a very difficult face when we're drawing him making any kind of expression. And Sandy has the opposite problem. He has a very rigid face. We didn't even give him lips. Yo, what's up, Tyler? Sandy, we didn't even give lips. And so we're going to have a very difficult time drawing emotion on him, which was done a little bit on purpose. We want him to be stoic. And not just stoic, but kind of an awkward character. Make sure, do I have the glass pen? I haven't been drawing with my favorite pen. Oh my gosh. I haven't been drawing with my favorite pen. Guys, Tragedy. Absolute tragedy. Um, but let's see. I gave him such a wide neck. He has such a wide neck. Okay, we're gonna draw it from here. Tyler says that he's having fajitas for tea. I love fajitas. I would love a fajita if you could. I'll open my window if you want to throw it at me. You live in England. I live in America. So if you could just generally throw in the western direction where the sun comes up. Thank you for popping in. And thank you so much for the bands. You're goated. We love you. Uh, yeah, just drawing our boy Wukong. I have bunches of sketches for Wukong. I'm happy to hear you're doing okay, Tyler. Um, you've probably been so busy with school. How are your goats? No, give me your food. Give me your food, Tyler. Oops. Let's see. Do those look like the same length to you? I think that this one is longer than this one. Let's find out. Let's use my favorite measuring stick, a circle. College starts on Thursday for you. That's fun. I have just Monday and Wednesday classes, which is funny because I'm technically full time. I'm just doing so many online classes that it's only technically full time. Okay, yeah, I was right. That one was longer. I do like the length of this one, so we're gonna have this end here. What was I talking about before you got here, Tyler? You threw me off my groove. My groove to nobody, because nobody was here. Let's see. We're gonna keep erasing. Oh yes, we're doing rig animation. And my voice has been very cracky today. I think I am getting sick. I'm very nervous because I do think I'm getting sick. But we're doing good old rig animation. I accept your apology. I'm ignoring that you think it's not your fault. We're doing good old rig animation, which is when we draw the same character over and over and over and over again, but in very specific different poses. We break up where their arms are and where their legs are, and we draw those legs and arms over and over and over again. In every pose we can possibly imagine. So you see Wukong has his arm bent up right here. He has his arm bent down right here. If I was making a rig sheet, those would be different rig poses that he would be in. Oh, I messed this up. We'll have it go like, nope. We're gonna draw upside down. Whoop, there we go. And our good old boys would then be kind of paper dolled together. And we would just over and over and over again draw those individual body parts so that we could reuse them over and over and over again. Cell animation is actually the most common kind of animation. If you are watching something and the main character wears like a scarf, or we have this fun little choker thing around his neck, then you know our boy is animated with framework or with cell work. Sorry, I'm very tired. Rig work. He is rigged. This game is rigged. This Wukong is rigged. Super unfair. L. Anyway, I'm very tired today. My alarm went off and I turned it off instead of hitting snooze, and I slept an extra 30 minutes. And then I shot awake in bed in a cold sweat and went, oh crap, I'm streaming today. And so I ran to stream. Um, so we're having a good old time. Let's see. I need to draw. We need to draw this. There we go. I've debated. I don't know if I want these to be sharp tears. Because if I zoom out, if I show you my reference sketch, he's wearing tiger skin as a skirt around his rear end. Because in the first, like the very first scene that he and our main trippy boy are together, he kills and skins a tiger and makes a skirt out of it. Thank you for the bands, Tyler. You have fun with your tea. Thank you for the good luck on the rest of my stream. I very much appreciate it. Um, and we will be seeing you. Bye bye. What was I gonna say? Tyler keeps throwing off my groove. Oh, so I mean, it's a violent moment. The Wukong, brutally kills and skins a tiger so that he has clothes. Which, like, I get it. You need clothes. I would be embarrassed. I would want clothes. But I worry that with his fur, he's already so spiky. So maybe we'll give him some softer edges just so that he doesn't look, what's that phrase, over designed. Because that's the last thing I want is for him to, oh, those aren't flowy, is for him to be like super over designed. So we do that. And my favorite part, I need to draw the hands that are his feet. Just kidding. We're going to stall. We're going to draw this leg that I drew kind of poorly. We're going to give him some calf. There we go. We're actually also going to, hello? There we go. We're going to make this leg more like that. There we go. There we go. Okay. Wukong, if you haven't guessed already, is a monkey. He's the Monkey King. And because he is the Monkey King, he has stupid little monkey feet. And I wonder, in this pose, he's balancing with his leg, like his foot pressed into his leg. So I wonder if I don't draw that as a hand with like the thumb coming around here and the arm and the fingers coming around here. Like that. Yeah, that looks good. That looks good. I've been very curious the ways that we'll have to think about Wukong's anatomy, especially his tail. Um, because I've been super impressed. Lots of animated series do really fun things with his tail. We're gonna have his fingers start. Let's see. That's his pointer finger. Um, but they have such fun things to do with his tail. Oh wait, that would have been his pinky. Ah, I did it wrong. There we go. I fixed it. I fixed it. And now I don't know how fingers work. Oops. Okay, we're gonna divide this in half. We're gonna divide it like that, actually. Then we're gonna divide that in half, and then we're gonna divide that in half, and we're gonna cut this part off. Yay! I did it! Basic anatomy! I figured it out. Okay, and then we'll probably just see the joint of his thumb come over that way. But things like his tail and his hands are used like so versatilely. They're very versatile the way that people find out how to use them. And so I'm excited. I want to know what we'll come up with to use for his tail. This looks really painful the way that I'm drawing this. That he's balancing just on his fingers. Would he be able to do that? Do you think if you can do a handstand, do you think you can do a finger stand? How strong would you have to be to balance on one like one set of fingers? 4 fingers. Can you balance on 4 fingers? I have no idea if that's even possible. But that's another thing. Like, I don't think he could do this pose because he's not balancing on the balls of his feet. Hmm. Hmm. So let's think about that. Actually, if he can't balance on the balls of his feet, he can still balance on the ball of his palm. So if I instead did it like that, this, oh, hold on. Oh, hold on. Oh, oh, wait. Wait a minute. The angle is going to be super funny. There we go. And then we'll draw this at a slightly different angle. I've done it. I'm the best. Something about drawing while I'm streaming gives me so much confidence. Like that would have taken me 3 hours to do off stream. And it's great because I love having, you know, confidence. But it's awful because that should have taken me 3 hours. And now I'm ahead of schedule on something that needs to be very much on schedule. Not that any of you care. I'm sure you're like, oh no, the stream's going to end 10 minutes before it actually should end. Ooh, the world is ending. Um, that actually looks really good. I'm proud of that. Let's look. Okay, I haven't drawn any of his hands actually, or his face, or the details on his legs. And for some reason, I drew that. What is that? Hold on, hold on, hold on. I think I tried to give him a BBL. Wukong doesn't have a BBL. Wukong is incredibly skinny. Um, Wukong skips leg day. Wukong skips ass day. He's got incredibly powerful legs, but he's flat as fuck. This is incredibly important information for everybody who's watching. Thank you guys. Um, let's see, we'll draw his thumb, comes out here, and his wrist comes out here. I didn't need to double line that. There we go. But yeah, if Cheese ends up watching this after it's, butchered and posted, I just want to say I'm so sorry I missed your birthday. I didn't know it was even coming up. Um, so I was super bummed. Or I mean, I was really excited that it was your birthday, but I was really bummed that I'd missed it. I think I gave him huge fingers. Ah! Look at his big old sauces fingers. Sauces. Thinking about it anyway, I do need to draw this on a separate layer because I'm drawing over his pants. So we'll try and stick to the inside of each of these lines instead. But does anyone in the chat draw? Are we artists or are we just hanging out today? Because if anybody draws, I would love to hear what you're working on and what you're interested in. I think that'd be lots and lots of fun. I gave him sausage fingers again. But we're gonna cope. We're gonna cope. We're gonna be fine. Those are the biggest fingers. Ah! Ew! That's so gross. That's okay. It's okay. I can only assume that the fingers on his feet would need to be so much bigger than the fingers um, on his hand. I'm gonna make his wrist a little bit bigger. Uh, just because I mean he walks on them. Human fingers aren't made to really be walked on, so I assume that monkey fingers are actually um, like probably pretty thick. I don't know. Thick. Um, that is a pinky. So that's gonna go, it's gonna be skinny. And then that's gonna be a little bigger. And then that's gonna be a little bit bigger. And then that's gonna be a little bit shorter. I'm super mature. I know how to draw fingers and I know how big they are. That one doesn't look too bad. Half of it's covered by the staff, so low risk. Let's see. This one is also going to be covered by the staff, but I did detail the thumb on purpose. We're gonna have the hand come out like that, and then do that, and do kind of like that. And this is his pinky, remember that? So this finger's gonna come out much longer. And that looks... I have 3 different people's hands as acting as Wukong's hands. Dear God. Okay. This one's gonna come like that. And then do palm. Hold on. I liked everything up to here. Ball, wrist. Chillin'. Straight chillin'. Absolute cinema. Alright. Let's see. Before we draw this hand, because I know it's going to be, again, difficult, we're going to real quick do his stripes. I'm actually going to draw that on this layer. It's actually just combat tape. We figured it would be a good way to break up his hands and his knees. Or his hands and his knees. I'm looking at his hands. His knees to his feet. So we just have some simple, plain old, that goes there, that goes there, that goes there, you know? Nothing fancy, nothing special. Technically, they're not how real bandages should work. But this is going to be a YouTube series made by 2 people. So, like, who cares? Who cares? I'm going to draw his tail real quick. His tail is made up of just a bunch of spikies. They spike together in short little bits when they're turning like this. And when they're turning like this curve here, they spike kind of long and much further out. And then his tail ends with a bunch of little ones. Yay! Tail. And my favorite part, trying to figure out his fuck ass face. We're gonna cheat. I love cheating so much. We're gonna cheat. We're gonna draw with the symmetry ruler. And remember, kids, as long as you're not stealing anybody's art, it's not actually cheating. But people will yell at you anyway. There we go. See how off-center I built his face? His head's a little bit tilted. That's what we're gonna say. But I was trying to have him look straight on. And we all see how that went. Ugly boy, my ugly boy. There we go. Let's look at his face. Let's look at these bajillion sketches I did of his face because he's a little bit in between these 2 right here. So let's see. We'll draw this so that we have a good frame idea for where his face is. And I do need to remember his eyes are not as wide as I drew them. They don't end here and here. They are gonna end, they're gonna start like here and end like there. That looks a little silly. That looks just the slightest bit ridiculous. That's okay. I'm gonna draw his eyebrows just slightly curved because his eyebrows are slightly curved. And they're not actually very thick. Yeah, they're long, thin eyebrows, which I think is funny because you would think that Wukong would have like very intimidating eyebrows, if that makes sense. Let's see, I like this placement of this nostril. I'm drawing the eyes. I'm stalling drawing the eyes, is what I meant to say. Let's see, let's see, let's see. Like that? Those are still really big eyes. No, that looks okay. That looks kind of scary. That looks a little bit scary. I like that. We were kind of going for scary. Only kind of. Um, okay, and I think we don't really need the symmetry ruler because the rest of this is asymmetrical on purpose. We have this one connects to the eye, this one goes down near the mouth, this one curls around the chin, and that one is about the same length as that one. And then we have this boy and one long swoop. And they do look like sideburns. I didn't design them to look like sideburns, but they do really, really look like sideburns. This one comes out way longer than I drew it. And this one points more down. And that one's way fatter. Whoop. Hold on. Whoop. Here we go. And then boop, boop. Oh my goodness. My timer didn't go off. Let's see if our Spotify is gonna work maybe. Hold on, stand by, please and thank you. That's my pitch deck. Yee. We're gonna see if Spotify works for us. Because like I said at the beginning of the stream, I was hoping that Spotify would work for us, and it's been being annoying. We're gonna reload it one more time. It does look like it loaded in a little bit. Um, but yeah, it like hour 37. I had 3 minutes before going on stream and it's still not working. Ah, that's so disappointing. Um, Usually I have music copyright free, good old lo-fi beats playing on in the background. Not today, for whatever reason. Oop, let me just dox myself. Hold on. Oops. Oops. No, my Spotify. How terrible. Okay, now can we draw? Yay! Didn't mean to take you guys behind the scenes just yet. Um, Here we go. We're back. And we're back. And we're back. Okay. But yeah, I'm so sad my Spotify is not working with me here. Let's hug the skull a little bit more because I did give him like so much hair. And it does not need to be big ol' 90s anime hair. It can very much be casual hair. Um, so happy to be drawing my favorite boy. Even if it's just me on my lonesome. But let's see. Does he look good? That looks pretty good. I forgot to draw his mouth. Um, and now that I'm looking at it, I don't think that his staff is properly aligned on both hands, but we'll draw that in a minute. For now, what I'm really worried about is if I flip this canvas. He does look very off balance. My only worry is that he looks very off balance, but that's that's fine. He can be a little bit off balance. He can be a lot of bit off balance. We'll just have to, oop, wrong thing. We'll just have to draw him um, more in motion. And I'm realizing I made his tail really short, which is okay. What we'll do is we'll go on to this one. And we'll say it curves this way, and then it comes back up like that. And this one, his tail is very much just for funsies. Like, I didn't really put a lot of effort into thinking about how his tail would affect this pose or what it would do. to have him like with all of that extra weight and that counterbalance. But I do think that when we animate, when we get like our whole studio, his show is going to be much more, or his show, when we get our show, his tail is going to be much more of a focal point for his character dynamic and his design. That's really bad. We're going to fix that later. It looks like a squirrel's tail. Actually, we're going to fix that now. We're going to good old push, 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 make this part thinner. Because monkey tails should be the same size the whole way around. There we go. And it does add something interesting to his whole shtick. Stick. Because we're drawing the stick next. We're gonna cheat again because I love cheating so much. We're gonna draw a line like that. And hey, that's actually not horrendously off model. I keep saying off model, like that's the word that I mean. We'll draw it about that big. Oh, silly me. I need to draw the top of the staff, which will make line up on purpose with, ooh, okay. Do we make it incredibly thin? Nah, we'll cut the fingers. We'll cut the fingers all the way off. Hold on, hold on, hold on. There we go. Oh dear God. What have I done? I've signed myself away to a life of crime. I don't know why, but I woke up with the Indiana Jones song stuck in my head. That's gonna get me copyright stricken. That'll be fun. Let's see, let's see, let's see. We'll turn that off. We're done cheating. I say as if I had anything that I was gonna follow that up with. Let's see. Does that look good? We're gonna test again. And that looks good. I still haven't drawn his face. Also, his jawline looks uneven, which is funny because I cheated. Oh well. We're gonna have the tail stay behind the staff. Obviously, the staff does not go over his face. Usually, I would dedicate myself to drawing a bit more like dynamic. Like maybe the tail would wrap under and then go over. But I think I like where it is now. Especially considering that this is a bit more difficult of a pose. Oops, not what I wanted. And let's see. Oh, wrong shit, wrong thing. I did it wrong. Whatever the words are, I fucked up. That's all you need to know. And then, of course, the staff goes under his thumb. And voila! Well, wait, no, not voila. Voila. Okay. We will fix his left hand. I mean, it's his right hand, but the hand on our left. And then draw here and fix that and give him a mouth. I'm gonna give him a mouth like first, actually. Good old grimace. There we go. We'll try this here. I wonder if I'm logged out of Spotify. That wouldn't happen, right? I have no reason to be logged out of Spotify. That'd be really funny. Let's see, let's fix his fingers. Because this does look like an easy fix. All I gotta do is rotate this up. And erase that part of the staff. It's fun to me. I've seen a lot of people talking about like the different like tips and tricks that you can use to, let's actually have the staff go over his finger, just so it looks more balanced. People will talk about the different tips and tricks that they use, and there's this huge debate on what counts as cheating and what counts as like making art versus not making art. And um, it's funny to me that a lot of the things that are the most controversial are things that professional animators do on the reg. Like rotoscoping. Did you know the entirety of Resident Evil is essentially rotoscoped? That's hilarious to me. Um, and other stuff like that that I'm like, it's not cheating if it makes art, but okay. Uh, let's see. Doo-doo-doo. Okay. Drawing fingers in a 3D perspective is incredibly difficult because you get all of your fingers looking big sausagey because you have to draw the bottom of the finger and the top of the finger, and it's all the same part of the finger. So Wukong gets big, ugly sausage hands today. Uh, and when I publish this sheet, I will have scrubbed it clean of all of my dumb imperfections. Um, what are those? What are those? What have I done? But I've had somebody ask on Tumblr before, do you just post your stream sheet as is, or is it that you like clean it up after the stream? And I clean it up. That's why it takes so long um to publish it afterwards, is I spend forever doing stuff like this where I just make his figures slightly less painful to look at. Um and then I just realized I'm not making him look anywhere. He's gonna be looking dead on. Hee hee. That's a silly looking boy. I actually like him a lot. Is there anything else I needed to do with him? Oh, I never drew his shirt. He's not wearing a collar. Oopsies. I gave him a turtleneck. That's okay. Because it's just a couple of quick lines. All right. Um, yeah, that's looking good actually. And I'm realizing there's a bunch of tiny details that I didn't draw. Um, there we go. There we go. Let's hear it. Um, okay, cool. I think we're gonna do one of our tiny sketches here. You guys can't see them very well. I'm gonna zoom all the way in so that you can see. I have these two where I really was thinking about that tail dynamic, like I said earlier. In this one here, if you can't see it, I'll highlight it. I've got his tail coming to be kind of a that's not what it looks like. I've got his tail coming to kind of be like a counterbalance so that he's much more stable. So he's got his hand and he's got his tail. And then this one I actually thought, I was thinking about Tai Chi. In Tai Chi, the very end move that you do after you punch is you drop all of your weight as far down as possible to try and help that counterbalance. And so this would be him right before he does that, pushing all of his weight forward, going that way. And then right afterwards, he would probably drop his tail down like that. I'd love to animate like Wukong punching something. That would be such a fun first animation to do. Because I mean, let's be so for real. It's Sun Wukong. He's gonna punch everything. Let me look at my. There we go. And we'll make our pen. Maybe not as thin as I was thinking. But this is just gonna be a sketch. It'll be much, much, much quicker than anything else that we were drawing. Assuming I can draw this nose. There we go. Um, I say again, as if I had anything worth saying. I didn't give him ears. He doesn't have ears. Oh my god. Ah! I forgot to give him ears. Ah! He doesn't have ears. Cemetery ruler, not this one. I didn't give him ears. Okay, his ears are actually really simple to draw. We're gonna draw it on this side. They start near his eyelid, they end near his eyebrow. They come out pretty far, and then they swoop back in. Those look bad. That's so funny. I forgot to give my boy ears. And they end with his nose, is why I was making him look silly. There we go, now he's got ears. Okay, moving back on. That was so funny. That's hilarious. Okay, back over here. Back over to this Wukong. We've already got his ears. His ears are easy. Move it back over to this reference. Ears are easy. Um, I, for some reason, am much more capable when I draw him facing to the right than when I draw him facing to the left. If I come over to this, his left facing animation, his left facing rigs are much worse than his right facing rigs. I mean, I love this one especially. It's so good. Um, so yeah, I, for whatever reason, I really like drawing our boy facing left. Um, don't ask me why. Do 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 do. Does anyone else, if there are any artists in the chat, do you do better, like vocalizing what your lines sound like? Because I swear to God, I can only draw fur if I'm going like that every time. Um, let's see, he's gonna come out more like that. And we have him, he's got like not a, he doesn't have like pecs like Sandy does, but he still has some boobs. He's got some boobs. And we'll have that end there. And then we'll have his little belt come up and over. Actually, the reference photo I'm using is scrapped. We gave up on that reference photo because we had to redesign all of our characters. It was incredibly upsetting because their color dynamics weren't working together like at all. It was ridiculous. I drew this arm really close to his body. We're gonna take that. We're gonna take this arm and we're gonna put it somewhere else. Because holy cow, his shoulder ends in his clavicle. There we go. Accurately proportioned Wukong. I just blew air straight into my mic. I'm so sorry. But you got accurately proportioned Wukong. So, you know. Oh, we just got some people on YouTube. Hello, YouTube Nation. I don't know why I said that. How are we doing? Oh, speaking of YouTube, I've been so excited. Yes, hello, hello. Um, I've been so excited because I just recently hit 20 subscribers on YouTube. And that is such, like, I know it's not a big number, but that's such a big number. That's so scary. I have, I think, 22 when I checked this morning. Um, so if anybody has an idea what to do for 20 subscribers, um, a directly proportional celebration would be greatly appreciated. um, Not a big deal, but a big deal to me is how I'm feeling about that one. I gave Wukong back. Look at that. But that's okay. We're gonna erase this part of it. And that part of it. I want to have Wukong's shoulder not be that big. Fun fact, not that big. And we're going to draw him in this pose without his neck thing, because we've been debating getting rid of the neck thing. And I think now would be a great time, and by great, I mean I want to be lazy, to not draw that thing in perspective. Because it is cool looking, and we will have some manner of neck thing, because again, we're doing cell animation. Sorry, rig. We're rigging. But it won't be anything half as dramatic as his weird neck thing. Give it up for the weird neck thing, I guess. And I'm realizing, well, okay, you wouldn't have seen it in that pose actually, so we're fine. But I'm realizing in this pose, his skirt thing should wrap all the way around. So we're going to go back into this layer. We're going to have it end mid-knee and come up like that. There we go, easy peasy. And then we have, oop, I selected a folder. This part comes here and does that. There we go. Nice and spiky. Nice and spiky. Doo -doo -doo. And then we'll have this come up. I drew his knee very square. It's an incredibly square knee. And this will come here and end there. We'll round that out. We'll make that make more sense. We'll make this bigger. We'll make this part, not that round. Whoop. Like that. Okay, cool. Let's see. What do I want to add here? We're gonna have a shirt. Shirt's gonna come from here, go down to here. That is gonna tangent, isn't it? We'll have it come further. We'll have it come up actually. Nope. We'll have it come down. Slutty shirt. Deep V-neck. Coming all the way down. Ooh, you can see 2 more inches of his chest than usual. Ooh, scandalous. And we're gonna sketch his feet. Let's see. This one will be super easy. In fact, I'm gonna go ahead and draw his knuckles because it'll be that easy. This one will be awkward and difficult. Just kidding. We're gonna simplify the fuck out of it. There we go. They're not lined up at all. Hold on. Hold on. Oh, well, that's because he's at a weird angle. No. My ruler's at a weird angle. Hee. Yeah, that's not right. But we're not gonna do anything about it. Not gonna do a thing. Let's see. I hope you guys can't hear the garbage truck that's outside of my house right now, because that just pulled up. Embarrassing. I do appreciate I can draw his hand feet very thin. Because they're hand feet. I have considered taking a bunch of pictures of my own hands in like foot positions to use as reference, because that looks like a weird toe. And I think unless I make it incredibly obvious that it is not a weird toe, everyone is going to assume that it is a weird toe. Or that I just can't draw. You know, that's always an option. But if we make it a little bit more obvious in some way, shape, or form, fit in all of these. It can't. His leg is so long. Okay, there we go. I think if we make it more obvious in our production in every frame that he has feet, feet, hand feet, um, the things will make more sense. I don't know. I'm thinking out loud here. I'd love to know what everyone would like to see about the series, though. The series has been, it's been moving at a pace comparable to a snail, but moving. Moving is always fun. We're gonna make this short. Doo-doo. Um, so I'd be super curious what everyone's thinking about moving forward with the series. Let's see. Let's see. What do I need to draw? I need to draw his hands. I know that. I need to draw his face. I need to draw the rest of this arm. His tail! I didn't draw his tail. Um, oh, and then that raises a fun question. How does his tail work with the tiger skin? We're just gonna have it popping out. There's no questions actually. Um, here we go. Oh wait, we're gonna draw this on a new layer. Here we go. Doo doo. This one's pretty easy. Doo 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 doo. I drew his hand very small actually. We're gonna have that end before that. And we're gonna go doot 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 doot. Hand. Really big hand. Uh, let's see. Slightly smaller hand. Let's go. Smaller hand for the win. But okay, and then this one's going to be really hard because this is a fist from the side. So we're going to come here and we're going to choose like a color. Whew. Okay, if he is, I blew into my mic again, I'm so sorry. If he is punching forward, then his thumb is going to be visible. So part of this is going to be a thumb. Part of this is going to come up to form a knuckle. And then it'll go like boom, boom. And then there'll be this spot here that's like that. Does that look good? That does not look good. But you know what? I can stall it. Segue right into our good old Journey to the West. I don't know if anybody is watching this series, deadass. Um, but me and my close friend Daffy, you want to go check out Infamous Puppy over on what's his bucket over on Twitch. We are very excited to be working on our very first animated series based off of an ancient Chinese novel called Journey to the West by an author Wu Cheng'en. Journey to the West is a big old metaphor for basically just learning to establish boundaries in your life. And I was like, I think a lot of people could use that right now. Um, and so we are making our very own Journey to the West series. Basically just to teach everybody, not to teach anybody. No, we're not trying to teach anybody. Basically just to, what am I saying? What am I saying? I'm all out of sorts today. We are trying to bring Journey to the West to an American audience. That's all I'm saying. There we go. I did it. We did it. Please, if you're interested and you haven't already, please scan this QR code up in our top right. That will lead you to Journey West Studios. We'll be posting our animations, our finalized character designs, our so ons and so forths as we get going with this one. And I'm so excited. Like, really, genuinely, I'm so excited to get so far moving with this. We really have done like so much. We have three of our characters designed in a cast of four. We have what else do we have? We have so much going on, and I'm just really excited for it. To stall further drawing this hand, I'm going to figure out his tail. And I always try to be drawing to my left because I'm left-handed. If you're wondering why I move my screen around so much, it's so that I can always be drawing a little bit down and a little bit to the left. Doot, 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 doot. There we go. Boop, 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 boop. That one was bad. Boop, boop. There we go. I really only try to draw the fur breaking where it would make sense. Um, but I don't think I did a good job with this tail. Oh no, it looks good. That's good. I did draw it on the same layer. So that's fine. It's okay. It's okay. We're not gonna cry. We're gonna be soap wave. We're gonna be soap wave about it. And we're gonna fix this so that it looks like that goes way further. There we go. And done. There's a tail. There's the tail. We gotta draw his hand. I really gotta fix that foot because that doesn't look good at all. Let's see. We go up, we go down, we go like that. We're gonna have it go not as up. A little bit up, very far down, not as far down. And then his thumb is gonna be longer. And do a swoop. And this part's gonna be small. There we go. That's a decent looking fist. And especially when we zoom all the way out, I mean, that's a decent looking fist. If you close your eyes, if you squint really hard, if you turn around 7 times, it's a good fist. I'm realizing also that I made his nose too long and therefore the rest of his face way too short. So what we're gonna do is, whoop. Oh wait, no, that's not what I wanted. We're gonna, whoop. There we go. Because his mouth is going to be closed. Most of my references, his mouth is open, so I can understand, you know, how his jaw is going to work. But his mouth is closed right now. Oh, he's grimacing. Grimace shake. And we're going to do our good old cap open, cap closed. And we'll reorient that actually. Make it quite a bit bigger and tilt it quite a bit up. You know, I might have actually drawn his crown. Silly. I drew his crown silly. Silly me. Silly, silly, silly. That's okay though, because we've drawn everything on the same layer, which is bad hygiene. But we can also, no wait, that's not what I wanted. It also means that we can tweak absolutely everything, which just also requires us to take absolutely everything out with us. There we go. Do 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 do. And there we go. We're gonna have just a generally neutral eyebrow. And I'll be looking up. He's a little silly looking. It's because I didn't draw, well, because his nose is very silly right now. And also because I didn't give him his sideburns. He looks like a brony. Oh, I drew My Little Pony character. Like those humanized bronies before they made the show where they were the My Little Ponies but human. The My Little Humans. I don't know what that would be. I look slightly better. I gotta fix this. I gotta fix this. His snout. We're gonna have it go like that. There we go. There we go. We're moving away from Ponyland. His ear is also very close to the rest of his face. Um, so we'll move that back, um, and down, and then fix this, and then fix that. There we go. That's a good looking Wukong. That's a good looking Wukong. We're just gonna fix up his hands. I think this hand and this hand could both use some detail work, some beauty work. We'll call it beauty work. We'll start with this hand. Drawing hands on the side is really difficult. Um, if you want to go through like basically any show, any animated series, any manga, they will avoid drawing the side of the hand almost as much as they'll avoid drawing the hand. Um, that looks better. I know it wouldn't be right, like his thumb should be on this side, but it might help us a lot if I draw his thumb. I guess it's not, but I guess it's hard to tell. I guess it's kind of hard to tell. Um, which leg is forward and which leg is backwards, but it's really not. We're gonna draw his thumb. We're gonna draw his thumb. We're gonna sin against anatomy. Um, that would be a great title of a band. Sins against anatomy. That would actually be really cool. I'm gonna make a band. Screw this TV show. TV show. Screw this YouTube series. I'm making a band. Sins against anatomy. We're gonna do. I mean, that should be a punk band, but I think it'd be funnier if it was like very incredibly calm lo-fi music. Or jazz. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna make a jazz band called Sins Against Anatomy. It'll be so good. Hmm. Yeah, that definitely looks better. And at first glance, you really can't tell that his legs are wrong. So we're chilling. We're chilling. Uh, and then all the other thing that we needed to do was erase this part and then shrink down from like here to here on his hand. Oops, I did it on a different layer. That's wonderful. What a good life. What a happy time to be alive. Me drawing things vaguely correctly. It's a good place to be in. It's a good life to live. Uh, there we go. And we just need to clean up all of the debris from butchering his hand. Doot, doot, doot. That wasn't what I was going for at all. Doot, doot, doot. There we go. I can't be the only artist who does that. There has to be like a whole thing about singing what your lines look like. Because I mean, thumbs sound like doot doot. We all know that. Everyone knows that. That's not a bad looking Wukong. He's a good looking boy. I'm struggling like so hard with art block this past week. I think I've just been so like I've been so shocked by how much drawing animating involves, which is crazy because I didn't even know about rig animation until we started looking into things. Um, and so I genuinely was ready to draw these guys 2 million times. And then I turned around and went, wait, I'm drawing so much though. Wait, like that's so much drawing. Um, and actually, they both look terrible. But we're gonna reference this one. He's gonna have his face goes kind of straight for a little bit, and then whoop, 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 whoop. There we go. These little sketches, I'm sure you can tell, I'm not trying too hard on. Usually they don't even get colored when I do my sketch sheet on Tumblr. Um, Usually they just kind of drift uh, and stop existing after a little bit. Uh, but I am really proud of that one that I did up above. So maybe we'll render that one. I don't know. Probably not. Let's be so for real. Probably not. I don't want to get anyone's hopes up if you were like really hoping for a good render of that one. It's probably not going to happen. Um, I took the liberty of actually sketching out his clothes in this one. Thank you, Past Cat. We love to see it. I forgot. Patcast forgot. Patcast. Past Cat forgot to do this part and his little funky shoulder pads. He looks like an imp sometimes when I draw him. I do gotta fix that, but him being an imp is so funny to me that I can't stop myself from being like, wait, but he's so silly looking. Um, like he's so incredibly silly looking. Let's see, let's see, let's see. Doot 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 doot. And this leg is gonna come up and over like that. Anybody from the last stream will be delighted to know because I did come up a little bit after stream. I did draw our main character, Tripitaka, in exclusively women's poses. I found a bunch of like women models, female models, and I was like, you guys are so much more fun than the male poses. And so I was super excited to draw technically a bunch of women. Um, let's see, that hand looks wrong, but does it look wrong enough for me to care? The age-old question. Let's see. Go like that. And we'll do the good old mittens trick. He's wearing a mitten. Because again, you can't tell when you're zoomed out looking at the whole picture. Who cares? Uh, let's see, let's fix his headband. I really wanted to find some way to tell a Journey to the West story, but I haven't, like, it hasn't arisen. So I'm just gonna try and think of one of my favorite chapters, and I'm gonna tell you about it. Because whatever. Oh, okay, the snake chapter is really good, like, very far into the novel. Um, and for anyone who doesn't know, Journey to the West is very much like a monster of the week situation. It's incredibly episodic. It inspired Dragon Ball Z. Um, So if you've seen Dragon Ball Z, it is very much then we fight this guy, and then we fight this guy, and then we fight this guy, over and over and over again, and then we recruit this guy to our team, and then we do this thing, and we love to see it. It's quite possibly the best anime trope, like literally ever. It's my favorite personally. But what was I gonna say? Oh, okay. They don't recruit this guy, but at one point they're coming along. Um, they come upon a village that is covered in persimmon trees. And if you know anything about persimmon trees, they're really pretty and very, I don't know, just pretty in one part of the year. So for like a week, everything is just beautiful and idyllic. But for the rest of the year, persimmon trees stink. They stink so bad. They smell like dookie. Um, and so the pilgrims happen to come upon the village, I think just at the tail end of it being pretty. Um, and the whole village is like, I mean, we have like bigger problems, but if you could take care of the freaking persimmon trees. And so one of the characters who we haven't drawn yet, he's the only one we haven't designed, Pigsy, just turns into a huge freaking boar. Pigsy mega transforms into his final form at this giant boar and just eats all of the persimmons, and they get it over with very quickly. And all the villagers are like, "That's amazing! You're so good at that." You know what else could be really useful? Actually, is there's a snake that's been eating people. Could you handle that one? And I assume everybody, all of the pilgrims were like, "Why didn't you start with that one? That's a real problem. Why did we wait? Why did we wait to talk about that one?" Um, and so Wukong's not looking too good. And so they go and find this snake, and it's not even a full demon. Like, it can't talk, it can't shapeshift, it can't do anything. And when compared to like the previous chapters where Wukong was fighting someone that's literally just him but more evil, or when they had to fight like Buddha's literal uncle, who is just as strong as the Buddha and had to be negotiated with. Snake is so incredibly sad. And so Wukong again is like, ah, Pixie can handle this one. And Pixie beats up a snake, and you kind of just feel bad for it at the end of the day because you're like, what was the snake even doing here? Um, and I think it's such a funny chapter because, like, it's so far into the series. You would think that they fight like a literal snake pretty soon into the series. Like, the first time that Wukong is interacting with Tripitaka, he just goes over and kills a tiger for no apparent reason. Um, but with this leg, hold on. He's so twisted into such a weird pretzel. Um, okay, he's on his right hand. So then his thumb should actually be here, huh? No. Yeah. Okay, his thumb should be there, so I messed that up. And then if we go down, that thumb should be here. Yeah. Yep, I figured it out. Okay, I messed it up. Um, but what was I thinking? What was I thinking? Um, like I think snake is just such a funny thing to put at like the very end of the series, because it is one of the final few chapters. Is like I think it's chapter like 87 out of 100 or something. Is just Pigsy beats the fuck out of a snake. How sad. That's all we had going for us was some snake. Um, and what I assume it is Journey to the West is a story that's been told and retold for literally thousands of years. Um, and so I assume that at some point, some grandma was yelling at her son not to play with snakes, um, and had to weave some big elaborate story about snakes, and it just got popular. Um, but is that hilarious anyway? Yes. And real quick, let me sketch out his new hand because I drew his hand wrong. It'll be a lot thinner too because I keep forgetting the angle that we're at. So this is going to be the whole plane of his hand. I was going to recommend, we've only got about 30 minutes left. I was going to ask if everybody would be okay doing a stream raid, but I think I only have 2 viewers right now. And that would be kind of a sad stream raid. So if at the end we have more streamers, more viewers, I might ask for recommendations on who should do a stream raid. We should do a stream raid on. I can't talk today. Um, but if we can't, if we don't do that, then we'll just have to leave it maybe for one of the whatevers. One of the whatevers. One of our game streams. We'll leave it for one of the games. But let's see. We will wait and see what happens. Um, and let's draw his hand on this layer. This other hand on this other layer. I'm drawing his hands in pretty boring poses. I should acknowledge that's on purpose. I really don't want to try drawing anything, especially exciting until we have his character down because even the reference pictures that I'm looking at, we have scrapped them. Those are no longer. I mean, he still looks like that. We changed like 2 colors. Let's be so for real. Um, but I still think it's important to say I'm drawing boring hands on purpose. And this stream has been a lot of hands. My goodness, I'm gonna edit this down, and we'll just do a hand compilation of me whining about hands. Uh, because it's been a lot of hands. It's been quite a lot of hands. Oh, what's up, Daffy? Yeah, we got plenty of action shots going on here. Um, We got we got the pose, we got the punch, we got the backflip. That's not a backflip. Cartwheel? Whatever he's doing. I'm not physically active. Um but let's see, we'll draw this. I decided to forego the tiger skirt in this one because I kind of wasn't sure how I wanted it to play out. But thank you so much for the praise. Was just saying I want to do in 30 minutes maybe a stream raid. So if you know any good artists that are active right now, which I know is a fun stipulation because you'd probably be watching them, but if you know anybody or if you see anybody that you're like, oh yay, this dude's dope as fuck, we should totally go raid somebody's stream. Because I was looking at it, and it's a great way to get engagement. To raid some bitch. Not some bitch, that's mean. I did this all wrong. His pants are looking funky. Um, but yeah, it has been a fun stream. You missed Tyler. Tyler was here at the very beginning. Um, but let's see, we're gonna move this leg down. This leg and just this part of the pants down. Because I'm realizing that I made his entire leg as thick as his entire torso, and that's not how legs work. Um, so instead we're gonna go like there. Bada bing bada boom. We done. Daffy doesn't know many streamers. That is okay, Daff. Um, we're gonna have him looking at us. He's looking at you. He wants to see if you notice how badass he is. We of course see how badass Wukong is. It's impossible not to notice. But he wants to know that you know. You know? Loki, Loki. Um, man, I blasted through both of these. I didn't even give his tail fur, but I feel like it works for the tiny sketch. Our teeny tinies. Uh, no, Daffy's a great artist. Daffy actually has like all of our drafts came from Daff. All of our Daff drafts. Um, but okay, what are we thinking? Do we want to draw? Because I think I either have time to line art this guy or to color in like maybe two. Like maybe I could do these guys. Are we thinking ink or color, Daffy? What's our vibe? And while we do that, well, okay, hold on. But yeah, what's our vibe, dude? While we do that, I'm just gonna clean this one up. You thinking the inkin? We're thinking the inkin. Um, all right, we're gonna do some inking. He's thinking the inking. Let's see, let's see. Okay. This was, as you can tell, my least good sketch, but that's okay. We put the least amount of effort into this one. But that is okay. We're gonna do shirt starts here, barrel chest, um, and then actually I gave him such a long torso in this one. We're gonna just grab the entire folder and we're gonna move aside from his hand the entire Mamma Jamma, like straight up. Because this is a short boy. We are drawing, he's like canonically like 5'2". Not even 5'2". Um, I'm not, that's for the Patreon, Daffy. Not happening. Um, Not happening without $10. $10.99 is my price for everything. $10.99. I'll draw Daffy pregnant. I'll draw Wushlong. I'll draw all of it. And I'll set Daffy up with an OnlyFans. Because we all know that he secretly wants that. Every time that he says no, it's not a no, it's a yes. That's terrible. I didn't say that. Um, that's horrible. Cat emojis. Oh my gosh, I haven't drawn any emojis for my subs. I need some cat emojis. You're right. You're right. You're right. Cat the monkey emojis. No, I get you. I get you. Um, but you right. You right. You right. You right. I do need me some personal emojis. Um, that would be fun. We could put that on the Discord too. There's no justice for Daffy. Daffy, Daffy, you know what you did. You know what you did to deserve this. Um, you know what you did. That's all I got. You know what you did. Let's see. I made this leg so skinny. Skinny. There we go. And then we do whoop, 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 all the way up that leg. And then like that. Uh, and then we'll just ink his face. Because I don't know if I have enough time to actually even finish this one. No, 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 Daffy, you didn't do anything wrong. It's just that you also are getting drawn pregnant. You seem confused. Um, just you're getting drawn pregnant. That it doesn't feel like a hard concept to me, but if you're struggling with it, I'm happy to explain it to you a couple more times. You are going to be drawn pregnant. Does that make sense? I don't even know where to start with this one. This is such a dynamic pose. Okay, we'll draw it like that. Daffy, Daffy, you can't say that in the chat. Daffy. Thank you. I did use references. I was saying before with Tyler that once again I got the wonderful opportunity to draw a bunch of women. Technically, these are all female martial artists. Um, that I can actually just show you my references. I don't need to describe them. Let me take the line art away too. These are my references. These are my girlies. Um, that I drew here. I love them all. And as always, female models are just more fun than male models. Um, all of the male models were incredibly boring. Like I couldn't find a guy doing this one. Um, so you know, I'm a misandrist. Love baddies who can beat me up. Me too, bro. um, let's see. But yes, Wukong is that baddie. And also needs to be posed more interestingly than most male models are willing to pose for. So he's a girl at heart, is what I'm saying. He's a girl's girl. Sun Wukong's a girl's girl. There's so many other things wrong with him, but he is a feminist. That's terrible. Um, but oh, dude, you know what I was looking at recently? Is there's this game that just came out called Don't. There's this game that just came out called Endicopia. I would love to play Endicopia. Not even on stream. It's a single player, so I have no idea how we would sort that out. But dude, it's like $15 and it's like 7 or 8 hours of content. And it's like Homestuck meets Undertale kind of vibe is what I've gotten from it. I think if you start doing solo streams ever again, you should totally do Endicopia. Because it's such a neat game, like elite neat game. I'll actually just make it that big, and then we'll do knuckle, knuckle, knuckle. Whoops. Yeah, it's some indie game. I love indie games so much. Indie games are always like goated. Um, Especially the dumb ones. Okay, wait. Yeah, no, that's how a fist works. I know what things look like. I drew his thumb on the wrong side. That's why I'm confused. There we go. Yeah, that's how thumbs work. I hit my mic. Sorry. But let's see. Okay. Now we go on to our actual thing. And we just do this. That's okay. That only looks a little bit silly. Um, oh, I should actually draw this arm. In a couple of these I mentioned earlier, I have foregone the weird neck plate thing that I made. We should make a Wukong indie game where there's a dedicated. No, I'm not reading the rest of that. You're terrible. Um, Not happening. But we should make a Wukong indie game. That would be fun. If you've seen, I know you haven't, but if anyone's seen Lego Monkey Kid, there's an episode, an entire episode that's just the main character playing a Wukong themed video game because he's a total fanboy. But Wukong keeps the game in his house. That's where the kid finds it. Um, you've gone looking for Wushlong. You, I don't need Daffy. Daffy, I listen. I love and support everybody. I'm Buddhist, but you don't need to keep telling me about your Wushlong adventures. Okay? We don't need to know about you Wushlong in it. That's a private matter. That's something that you discuss with How long can I keep doing this bit? Wushlong is the real One Piece? No. Yes? Maybe. I mean, the main character is Monkey D. Luffy, and he can't swim. And he has ridiculous superpowers that make him functionally immortal. And they're going to look for a magical MacGuffin. It's crazy to me how many things are like very obviously based off of Journey to the West. Like Dragon Ball Z is really on purpose, like the entire thing is this kid fights with a staff and it's super badass. But there are other ones that I'm like, that's insane. That's Journey to the West. Like like, and it took me so long to realize that One Piece is Journey to the West. And I'm very embarrassed to say that it is the part where Luffy can't swim, because in Journey to the West, Sun Wukong is a stone monkey. Like he was born out of rocks and shit. And so I'm not putting as much dedication into this sketch as I should, but we only have like 20 more minutes. You didn't realize how close Wukong and Goku were. Son Goku is Wukong's Japanese name. So Goku is named Wukong. And I'm pretty sure, don't quote me on it, but I'm pretty sure that in the Chinese version, like in their translation, they just changed his name to Sun Wukong. Just so that everybody would look at that and go, oh, oh, yeah, I know who this is. I get it, I get it. And he doesn't have a tail, but he has like a belt that hangs loose in the back to look like a tail, and he flies on a cloud and he fights with a staff. The only difference is that when Sun Wukong has an enemy that's too powerful for him, he goes and gets help. And when Son Goku has an enemy that's too powerful for him, he goes and gets a better staff, which is hilarious. I heard somebody compare it to if somebody modern day did an animation that was a retelling of Cinderella, and every time that she faced a new enemy, she had to go get a cooler shoe, which is hilarious, absolutely hilarious. Um, but yeah, and I mean, he has like his own Red Boy version. Does Son Goku have a tail? I assumed it was a belt. I actually never watched Dragon Ball Z. I really tried to. I seriously really tried to watch Dragon Ball Z, but I could not for the life of me. I know he has a thing on his butt. I assumed it was the back end of a belt. Um, but maybe it's just a tail. Isn't he human? Why would he have a tail? I don't know. We're gonna have to sketch this one. Let's see, if he's going down, then the thumb will be here. Um, and then we do 1, 2, 3, 4. Daffy's an anime larper. No! You gotta have some animes that you've watched, right? Probably some weird cat girl hentai. That's anime. You'd be into that. I'm trying these backwards. I'm doing this all out of order. Whoop. There we go. Okay. Now we draw this knuckle comes here and goes that way. And this knuckle comes here and goes that way and then goes that way. And then this knuckle comes here and goes that way. And then this knuckle comes here and goes that way. And I did it. And no! I'm saying you he has a tail. Wukong has a tail. Or not Wukong. Goku has a tail. Um why does he have a tail? I thought he was human. Also, I'm encouraging your cat girl hentai. It's anime. We're all anime fans here. Yeah, us too. We're both anime fans. Um, let's see. Why did I draw his foot like this? Hold on. I think his foot would just kind of disappear behind his hand, realistically. We're gonna finish it and see if that looks funny, and if it does look funny, I'll draw the rest of his hand. But for now, we're gonna draw this other hand. This is really just hands the stream. I'm gonna need to be so excited about hands to draw the rest of this series. Because this seriously is just how many hands can Cat draw in 2 hours? I need to be like that one guy. Who's the guy that did My Hero Academia? The My Hero Academia man? At some point he said that drawing hands was his favorite thing in the entire world. And I think he even went as far as to say that he had a fetish for hands, um, which is hilarious. Uh, but if someone can, that looks really funny. If someone can fact check that for me, because I'm not actually sure if that is true or if I'm just talking out of my ass. Um, Wukong in your fat, ugly fingers, dude. Um, that doesn't look terrible. Yes, it does. Mans was psychotic. He was. What was his name? I don't know what his name was, but I'm pretty sure that he said he adored drawing hands. And either it got translated poorly or he said live in an interview that he had a fetish for drawing hands. Um, and I respect that, but you could not waterboard that information out of me. I would be terrified of anyone finding out that I was drawing manga because I had an interest in something. Um, bro, okay, we'll fix this hand in post. I didn't draw his face. Goei Horikoshi loves drawing hands. You found the article? Oh, please skim that article and let me know if he uses the word fetish or if I'm like hallucinating. Um, because I didn't feel like My Hero Academia was a particularly like you'll watch some animes and you'll be like, oh, oh yeah, oh that's yeah, no, that's a fetish. Like let me not bring any up. Actually, that's how I get canceled. But there are some things that you'll be watching and you're like, oh yeah, this person was really into the concept of people like I don't know. Um, what am I saying? What are the words coming out of my mouth actually? Um, but I'll be watching something and I'm like, oh yeah, this guy definitely had a thing for like people getting attacked and pinned by like sludge. You know, you'll see something and you're like, this is tentacles. This is those are tentacles. Um, or you know, something akin to that. Um, and that's fine. That's fine. Like, who cares? But also, I did never get that vibe. Buddha did not say that. You're going no. Um, I never got that vibe when I was watching My Hero Academia. There was never a thing where I was like, this is like the fifth time that hands have been important. Um, which honestly just means respect to Horikoshi for finding a way to just so intrinsically work his fetish into his series that he what am I saying? That I didn't even catch it. I feel like I'm okay at catching those kinds of things, but I didn't even catch it this time. So you know, good on him. This needs to be more tilted. Um, what are we looking at? Wukong's facing straight on. The things we want to draw are headband. Oh, Daffy, do you, Daffy? Why would I look that up? Daffy says in the chat, do not look up My Hero Academia hand fetish. Don't do that, guys. Um, let's see. What else do I do with him? We're gonna turn the ruler off for now. We're gonna draw some very basic sideburns. They would keep looking more and less like fur and more like literally sideburns. So I should probably stop calling them that. Um, but I won't. Um, yeah, research. Daffy was doing research and innocently, innocuously looked up hand fetish. Uh-huh. No, you're innocent in this. Don't worry. Don't worry. Um, okay, now we're gonna sketch his face out. Eyebrows here. We're gonna give him a smirk. He's gonna be doing the face. The face. The DreamWorks face. Dear God. I don't know what's up with me today. I cannot draw. I can't draw eyes. Everything else has been so fine, but I cannot for the life of me draw an eyeball. Or a straight line, apparently. Um, that does not look nearly as smug as I want him to look. I think working for DreamWorks would be really fun. Daffy is saying I could work for DreamWorks. I actually would not mind working for DreamWorks. I think they have the funniest shows. Um, but dear God, what is wrong with his face? We're gonna workshop this in post. Don't even worry about it. Um, gotta raise those eyebrows for maximum smugness. Oh, raise an eyebrow for maximum smugness. We'll give him some asymmetrical eyebrows. Um, and a small smile here. The pose looks so good. It's just this face that I'm struggling with. Which is crazy because I've drawn Wukong's face so much. Look at them. Look at them. Look at all of his faces. I draw his face so much and I struggle with it so much. It's so annoying. Um, but it's okay. We'll work it out. This is still just a sketch. This is just a sketch. I'm sketching his face. Um, we'll have normal eyebrow and raised eyebrow. That looks so dumb. Oh my god, it's his jawline. I drew his jawline way too pointy. Um, me and my dumb boy. Me and my dumb looking dumb boy. Smooth his chin out a little bit. Oh dear god. It's okay. Um, it's okay. You know why it's okay? Because I need to sketch this tail, and then after that, we only have like 4 minutes. So we're gonna be chilling. We're chilling. Um, let's see. Do 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 do. That was too big of a to do. Do 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 do. Oh, I was asking earlier, Daff. When you were drawing, do you have to sound out your lines? Do you go like do 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 when you're drawing, or am I crazy? I assume I'm crazy. Um, but I mean, I love drawing out, or I love sounding out my lines. Do 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 do. Oops, that was a bad one. See, it didn't follow the mouth noise I made. Do 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 do. Your lines go pew. Your lines go pew like that. Pew pew pew. Your lines go pew? You're kidding me. Oh god, ignore that, Wukong. The longer I draw for, the worse my drawings look. I've noticed that recently. Uh, they go pew pew pew. That's ridiculous. My lines go doo doo. Or I guess it depends. If I'm drawing tail fur, it goes doo doo. But if I'm drawing like a long torso, it goes whoosh. You know? Anyway, I think it's just Daffy in the chat. But Daffy, if I could talk to you for a moment about our Lord and Savior, Journey to the West, an action comedy series based in Tang era China, that would be in the 900s. Um, all the way back when there were like demons and Buddha, demons and Buddha. Um, and we're hoping to bring such an amazing, really neat looking story to a more American, modern audience, Western in general, so that you can partake in the absolute sheer joy that is Journey to the West. So please, if you haven't already, scan that QR code up in the top right or look us up on YouTube. We are Journey West Studios. We are hoping to make an entire series with the entire show as our reference point. We would love to see you. Thank you for the fans, Daffy. We are totally going west, and I will see about raiding somebody. I don't know if anybody found um, an art stream to raid, but I'm gonna look for somebody with a pretty small amount of viewers, considering I have a pretty small amount of viewers. Um, and also somebody speaking English, because I was looking earlier, and most of the people who have like not a lot of viewers have all of their captions in like Russian or something. So here, let's do this one. Um, we have this person over here. We are going to go ahead and slash raid. Um, what's their name? I just forgot it. We're gonna raid somebody named. Oh wait, never mind. Their stream turned off. That's really funny. Oh well, let's go find someone else. We're gonna raid our friend Explosive Decoy. This person is drawing, it looks like a lot of very dynamic art poses, fashion poses. Explosive Decoy is getting rated, and that will start in 10 seconds after I submit this. Oh yeah, we're going west. We're going specifically over west to Explosive Decoy. Let's figure this one out. Right now. Did that work? I don't know if that worked.